This is the Pacsafe Eco 25 litre anti-theft backpack. If you are new, welcome. Please do hit that subscribe button and let's get into the details of this backpack. This backpack is priced around $229. You can opt to get this Eco anti-theft backpack in the 18 litre. I will actually get into this a bit more whenever I go into detail about the harness system and the back system on this backpack. But the real difference between this 25 litre and the 18 litre is the laptop compartment. So in this backpack you can fit up to about an 15 inch, and then in the 18 litre you can fit around a 12 inch laptop to about a 13 inch MacBook. And then the main aesthetics and the difference on the 18 litre is that it doesn't have this side zip here, so it has a zip just here instead. So there is just a little bit of a difference, but again I will get into this a bit further in the video. This is the color Canyon. You can get it in a greyish and a black color, which is a more subtle color if you wish. You definitely wouldn't get lost in the crowd with this one, but I felt like the turquoise implements well along with the style of the bag and this burnt orange color. It is 50 centimeters in height, 27 centimeters in width, and 19 centimeters in depth, and it weighs 0.8 kg, which is 1.87 pounds. It is fairly a lightweight backpack, which is great for making it an active backpack, so you can therefore pack it up for your adventures. It is an eco-friendly brand, which we love. The materials are made up of econ nylon, recycled polyester, and it is water resistant, PFC free. Pacsafe are notoriously known for their anti-theft features, and that definitely doesn't stop in the eco range. Their anti-theft materials include slash-proof materials that run through into the straps. Then the eco mesh, a slash guard, is made up in the front of the bag, so it's kind of like this metal material that stops the bag from being stabbed and ripped open should that happen. Then over here you have the pop and lock system, so you can detach this and tie it around a stable object so that the backpack can be tied around something that isn't going to move, and that you know whenever you set your bag down it is safe. And then you have the Rhubarb sport locking system on the top. Also on the side pocket here, which the 18 litre doesn't have, is this dock lock system. So at the top here you have this dock lock that stops the zip from being pulled down automatically, which is quite handy when thinking about this anti-theft feature. If someone was to go in sideways to your bag, it's great to have this lock on should you want. So inside the main compartment you have the RFID blocking, which you can place things such as your passport or other cards. This is a well-rounded, thought-out backpack, and it is an active backpack. I believe it is made to be outdoors, and also added features such as anti-theft for any adventure that you do want to take it on. Just want to touch on quickly in regards to the shape. As you probably noticed, I've been holding this bag up because it does not sit up by itself, which is quite great that you have this pop lock as well, so whenever you are setting it down you can kind of lean it up against yourself but also have it attached to something. Just be aware whatever you are packing on the front that it is well padded in there, because whenever it falls forward there isn't really a lot of protection on the front here, so just be aware when you're packing. And also the bottom here, I've got a few things in there, but this is quite like not flimsy, there is like padding but not as well protected when you're putting the bag down and it's falling forward. Just be aware of that whenever you are packing, but there is enough padding from the back here that kind of stops and breaks the fall. But it's just something to note in regards to when you're packing and how you're packing. The backpack isn't waterproof, but it is water resistant enough for me to feel safe to have it in a downpour, which actually happened the other day when I was out with this backpack, because the weather here is changeable. It was absolutely gorgeous day and then it just bucketed down, and everything inside was grand, and the bag actually dried really easily as well. Around the bag here you can attach things externally should you wish. Unfortunately, I can't really fit my headphones that I like to attach on the outside of a backpack here. But there are multiple things that you could attach should you want to take this bag out, maybe on an adventure, up on a hike, and there's things that you feel that you can externally attach, then that is there for that. So this side compartment and pocket is the first type of pocket on the backpack here. It is hidden by this extra bit of material, which also adds to this anti-theft. It is quite hidden, but as you can see, if this pops out, then you can kind of see the color and how visible it is then. But there is, as mentioned, this dock lock, so that stops it from being open, and it is easy to use, and the zip doesn't run down right down to the bottom. It runs till about here, which is grand, and inside you do have enough space, and it goes right down to here, and it goes up to here. Then on the sides you have this beautiful mesh. You have two pockets actually, and you could fit like maybe a wee tripod and things like that in there and try and loop it through there if it is small enough. I've opted to put my 500ml water bottle here. It doesn't run right down to the bottom, so you're not hearing the clink of this first whenever you're dropping the bag down. There is plenty of room. This mesh is really high quality, and it kind of suctions around the product that is in there as well. Then moving on to this moon type shaped pocket here. This is also attached to the rhubarb locking system, so you have the opportunity to tie this in here, and like many of the Pacsafe bags, I actually have it on the City Safe backpack there as well, is that you can lock in these zips, and that goes for the back ones as well. And you can lock them in or you can have them opened. It really depends on where you are and how you feel, and it is quite simple to use once you get the hang of it, but it is quite fiddly, so by the time someone is fiddling about with that, you have the opportunity to clock them should you wish, or don't use violence. And then you just want to slip it across, and then you push it in to hold it in place, and that's great just for this top grabbing pocket. If you want to activate that, you can. I don't all the time, but I find it quite handy if I do have valuables in there and I'm going about the city. And then there is this bit of wiring in the top here that kind of helps with that shape that I absolutely love, and inside you can see the beautiful color, and I feel like it really complements the bag. It's absolutely one of my favorite aesthetically looking backpacks. In here you have a zip pocket. These are great for just like little things that you want to place in there. Like I have my a phone, I have my purse in there, which is quite handy to just grab whenever I need it. And then they have like this key lash. I prefer the retractable ones, but if we're keeping in line with this, you know, the eco-friendly style. Then you have the back pocket, which is also where you can have your laptop should you want. But as mentioned, you can activate this bag into active mode. So there is this hydration loop that you can place your hydration pack through there, the tube, and it also comes down into the straps, which I'll get into in a minute. But you have the option to do that, and in the back here there is a place for it to be held. You can also fit your laptop in there. My 11-inch laptop fits grand in this pocket, but it does fit up to about a 15-inch, which is great as well. And then you do have this back RFID pocket, which I have my passport in there as well, and that's handy to keep anything such as your ID so that nobody can scam them. Mentioned, you can put your laptop in there or your hydration pack. At the minute I just have a couple of things in there that I use whenever I am out actually. If you haven't seen the Tropic Feel reversible vest and jacket, then go check out that video because they're really handy for UK weather. They're very lightweight, so it makes it easy to just slip on and off depending on the weather. And there is quite a lot of depth and a lot of room. The rest of the backpack inside here is just space, so you can pack it up how you want. I do love how on the side there is panels kind of keeping the backpack from falling right over as well, and because of the color there is enough light going into the backpack so you can definitely see what's going on. I love a backpack that has color, so it makes it easier finding things, especially whenever it is top loading and you're trying to find the thing that you've packed at the very bottom. So now on to the back system. As mentioned, you can definitely look in your hydration pack and slide it in the back there if you're not putting your laptop in there, and then they have the holes that you can put your tubes into through the straps, which is quite handy. I do want to get into the straps because the straps is what brings it down from about a 9 till about an 8 for me, which I'll get into in a sec, but I do want to touch on the back here and the padding. So the back has a lovely panel here, which I love on a backpack because that really does help airflow as well as prompting posture on both sides. I find this more beneficial, especially for anyone who has back problems. Whenever it is crossed like this, it's not really giving any support. And this material, this material is this memory foamed mesh. It doesn't have a lot of squish to it, but it does have a lot of comfort to it, and it does again prompt your posture. Also, the panel here, you know, really helps whenever it is a hot day. As mentioned, I do take this backpack out regularly, and I find that whenever it is on like something like this here, there is lots of airflow that can kind of go up my back because there is that bit of space for that to happen, and it makes it better overall experience so that you're not sweating to death. And even with the backpack fully loaded up, because it is so lightweight, I don't really feel like it's heavy. And also you have your sternum strap here and your hip belt. Should you want to distribute that weight, you can. The sternum strap here is not detachable, it just runs like so, and you can adjust it to your own build and height. So you do have the hip belts at the bottom here. You can detach it should you want, and there is also dangle stoppers to stop this dangle from dangling, and there is a better way from securing it in, but it just comes off nicely should you want it. The sternum strap and the hip belt is quite petite, which I feel like goes with the overall bag. Anything bulkier just wouldn't fit this aesthetic of this backpack. These are just little clips, which I feel would probably break first. So I prefer to have the hip belt near enough around the waist. Just personally for me, it works a bit better in supporting my back. It is probably meant down at your hips to distribute that weight, but it's really just down to you and your own comfort. So the main thing that kind of brings this backpack down for me is the straps. Now they are quite thin, they have a bit of curve to them. There is external material that you can attach things to. They are rigid, strong. When I have a coat on such as this, I am not noticing the uncomfortable features such as the straps in comparison to it being on something that is much thinner, because I have this padding right on the coat that I wear most of the time, because most of the time it's raining here. This is protecting more so the comfort for me, and I'm not really feeling the uncomfortableness of the backpack, and it is absolutely grand. I love it. I wear it most days out and about. But assuming that this backpack is made for the active person and active adventures and going out and for hot days, because of the back panel and the airflow, this is where it kind of goes down for me. So without the padding on my coat, and I'm wearing something just as thin as this, even if you were to wear like a tank top or a bralette or anything, it's just a lot of discomfort coming from the strap. So you've got this curve here, which is grand, but whenever you're trying to support yourself in, it's kind of not thinking about this chest area. It does have a lot of material for the sternum strap, so it does run to about there, and if you were to tighten it in as mentioned, then it is going to not sit as well basically. So if I'm tightening this all into my body type and how I feel comfortable, then it's just grand. The hip belt, that's fine, like down here, but I don't know if you can see here this gap, and that's because there's not enough material left for me to pull down. And I found that with the Pacsafe as well, that there was not enough material to pull it, and whereas this would feel more comfortable to me, and I know that feels like super tight, but that's what I prefer, is a lot more secured and contact with the back. I know it's nice to have a bit of gap in order to have an airflow, especially here, so you know, loosening the hip belt, maybe you could do that as well, but I prefer contact so I have that support for my back, and it's going to be down to you. Bear in mind I am 5'6", so the backpack does kind of run down till about here on me, and I just find there is not enough comfort, right? So say that I'm wearing it like this, and this is what I find comfortable. If the straps were here and they were pulled down a bit, this would be ideal, right? My concern is if I'm not wearing something that is tight up like this or a padded jacket, then this starts cutting into me. You could absolutely not have this tight, and you know, but then you're left with the gap. And say it has, then you are left with no real support, and this is very hard and it still rubs into the neck area. If I'm not wearing something like this, I can definitely feel it cutting in, and on a hot day it's only going to rub even more with your sweat as well. I just want to give you kind of like a comparison so that you can see. In regards to this being the 25 litre, I would have preferred, now going back thinking, okay, maybe the 18 litre would have been a nicer fit for me, my body type and my height. So I do have the 18 litre in the Metro Safe X as well that I'm testing out, that I absolutely love for comfort. Obviously it's a completely different style, it's different padding and whatnot, but I just kind of want to show you how that fits better on an 18 litre in regards to the 25 litre. So that's this here, and don't know if you can see, then the padding is absolutely different and it runs up into the back here as well. As mentioned, completely different backpacks, so you're going to get different results from both, which is good because they are different. But I just kind of want to show you what I mean when I want a backpack to be more secured. Obviously this backpack doesn't have like the sternum strap and the hip belt. There will be a review on this backpack as well, so do be sure to check that out. But this is what I'm talking about. It just feels a bit more secure. Yes, there is a bit of gap in, but I feel like the straps are a lot softer, it feels better, but this just kind of gives you, maybe if you're thinking about the 25 litre and you're the same height as me and you kind of would be concerned about the same issues that I've had with the straps, then you can go ahead and maybe check out their 18 litre. I definitely feel like it might be a better fit. Don't know, that probably is a rubbish comparison. Maybe I'll get the 18 litre and test that out too as well. But as mentioned, the difference in the features at the start of this video, I think that the 18 litre for me might have been just a bit tighter, which would have been ideal. But as far as the bike overall, I think it is amazing, and I still continue to use it because, as mentioned, 99.9% of the time it is raining here and I have the padding on my coat to contribute. And if you happen to think that you would like to purchase this backpack, then I would greatly appreciate if you could use the links in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next review.